Hello Fun Army, welcome back to Life and Other Soccer Skills! Anyway, this week's mission is another, well, I'm going to call this a sewing extravaganza because, well, not even a sewing extravaganza, a creative extravaganza, because there are at least 3 things on the list of nus that I'm going to be making. And it's probably actually going to take more than a week. We shall see. We'll see how I go. I'm kind of going like, oh, it's only blah and blah, but it's probably going to take longer than I think. So I am in the zone for making everybody's Christmas presents this year. So my plan is that I'm going to make everyone a reusable cracker. I can't say cracker. I can't say it normally. So it's not just going to be made of fabric, but it is going to be designed so that you can actually pull it and then put it back together again and reuse it. And naturally, what do you get in every Christmas cracker but but a paper hat? Except because I want it to be reusable, I am going to make them out of fabric. My big decision that I've got to make on that one though is whether they're gonna have ribbon ties or whether I'm going to have Velcro fastenings. Like, I prefer the idea of Velcro, but it may be that a ribbon is better in terms of adjusting it to fit different people's heads. So we'll figure that out when we get there. And then the third definite item I'm going for is an origami jumping frog. For me, the plastic jumping frog that I've had in many a different cracker over the years is like the epitome of cracker awesomeness. We actually had one really good one, like, and it was probably the cheapest looking one that I've ever seen, but it was a great jumper. And you know, back in the days when I had big family Christmases, it's been a very long time since that was the case, but back in those days there were a lot of us around the table and we were all just playing with this jumping frog, trying to get it into the gravy boat. And guess who was the only person to get it into the gravy boat? Oh yeah, that would be me. And I was an actual child at the time, just saying. Anyway, so yeah, I've got this, I was gonna say I've got this pattern for an origami jumping frog, but that's not the word, like instructions. I've got instructions for an origami jumping frog. So yeah, so obviously gonna see how that goes. I hope it works. It's been a while since I've done any origami, and obviously making it jumpable is the key bit here. So yeah. And then if I have time, I might do a 4th thing. I was trying to figure out like how you could do reusable cracker jokes or something like that, and someone suggested I could do one of the thing with no name, but you know, those things, you know what I mean. And maybe just write dad jokes on all of the insides, which I might do. I'm not entirely settled on that. As I say, it's mostly going to be time dependent, to be honest, because I've got to make 9. I think it's 9. I'm going to double check it's 9. I'd basically counted it out and then discovered I needed to do a Secret Santa. I was like, I'll just make another one, it'll be fine. So yes, it might be, I'm now going, is it 9 or is it 11? It's okay, it's 9. So yes, what I have done thus far is make a few templates for the cracker. So yes, cracker is the first mission. I feel like if I can get that done, then all I'm working on is the innards. So that just feels like a good plan for an ordering. So there needs to be a pattern per half, because you obviously, because you want it to be rippable and really stickable. Yeah, it needs 2 halves. So one half will be slightly bigger in circumference so that you can pop the other half into it. So yeah, I think my bigger square is 10.5 inches by 10.5 inches, and then the smaller one is 9.5 by 10.5. And then I've just cut out little templates for the sturdying mechanism, because obviously in a normal cracker you have cardboard that kind of, card, either integrated within the cracker itself or inside whatever material the outer of the cracker is made from, and that's kind of what makes that cylindrical shape. Now, I did spend a couple of weeks like hanging on to every bit of card that came into my house, because I was thinking, oh, I could use that. And then I had an idea about, because I was looking at what I was going to use to make the crowns, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get some interfacing. And I actually managed to get some fairly stiff interfacing. So I was like, I might try with this first one at least, to make the innards out of interfacing, because I think, you know, that's still suitably stiff. And I don't want to end up in a situation where I'm running out of card or having to buy card. I just think it'd be nice to have it like all properly made. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes, see if it works the way I want it to. And that's it really for the main pattern. So you basically will have a lining layer, an outer layer, and a layer of interfacing in between. We're going to use Velcro as the snapping re-snapping mechanism, and probably some ribbons to kind of tie off the ends. So that's where we are. Next step will be cutting out fabric for our first one, which will be the tester. Once I've done the tester, I may then sort of cut out all the rest of the fabric. I find it easier to kind of do stuff in stages rather than like doing a complete one and then doing another complete one, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, once we've sort of trialed everything with the first one, then yeah, I'll just hopefully do a bit of a production line with the rest. So yeah, anyway, enough waffleage, let's get to the work. Okay, so I have cut out my bits of interfacing and pinned them onto the lining part of both ends of the cracker. If you remember, because one is square and one is slightly not square, the bits of interfacing are different lengths to match that. So next up, I'm just going to sew them down the sides where I've pinned them so that they stay attached, and then we're going to start piecing everything together. My parents are both liars. Okay, so now I need to get everything matched up. So we want everything that's going to go right sides together, and we want the bigger edge at the top, which hopefully is the right way around right now. Whoa! Okay, and also because I've got patterned fabric with words on it, I also need to make sure everything's the right way up. Ooh. So if always. So if I look at it this way up, right, this is the way it's supposed to flow, shall we say, one into the other. And basically the bigger sides here are where the Velcro goes, and these sides here, where we've effectively cut down the middle, are where the Velcro goes. So it's easier for this top one. I think it's that one. Get it the right way around. Yes. So right sides together. Right, and I'm going to pin that up in a sec once I've definitely got this right. So then we're saying the Velcro goes there and the Velcro goes there. It should be like this. And then hopefully everything... I probably should not have started with such a directional pattern. I should have, you know, done something that was a bit easier for my test one. But yeah, fingers crossed it's going to be fine. It took me a minute, but I think I've got them the right way up now. It's a bit disconcerting when you think of it as the bigger piece being at the top, and you're like, no, because it needs to be at the bottom of the larger section and then at the top of the smaller one. Which, as I say, would have been a lot easier if I didn't use a very particular patterned fabric. It's going to be fine. It's going to look awesome. So, yeah, now I've pinned all three sides on both. I'm now going to sew around them. Thanks for the candy basket. Oh God, another jacket. My stocking's filled with acid. And now we press
just happened. This is not.
Okay, so next up, it's Velcro time. So I just have some basic Velcro. We're starting with the bigger bit. So I've literally just cut it to the size of that section. Now what I'm gonna do, very carefully and maybe off camera, because I'm not very good at cutting a straight line, I'm gonna cut it in half. Because obviously if you have this much Velcro on there, it's going to be quite hard to pull it apart, bearing in mind you have to sort of pull in that direction, and Velcro needs to be pulled in that direction generally. So yeah, we're going to halve it, which is also good because hopefully this is how much Velcro I've got. I think there's more than it looks like. I have also got some sticky back Velcro as well, but yeah, I was like, I reckon I've got enough for 9, but of course you have to do both sides. So this will do 1. And hopefully I don't have to order any more. Anyway, so yes, going to cut it in half, then we're going to sew it on, and then we are almost there. So what I just have to do before I can pin the Velcro on is then fold in the ends slightly. Actually, I should probably go and press those down, that will kind of help keep them down. So yes, we're just going to fold in these final ends, then pin on the Velcro, then sew the Velcro down. Totally nailed this, really all over it. So here we are, Velcro on both sides, which will kind of go like snap. So exciting. So yeah, so it's on the inside of the bigger piece and the outside of the smaller piece. So now all I have to do is sew it all together and then put some little ribbons, kind of tie off those bits. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty happy with this so far. The difficult bit though is actually the sewing it into a tube. So yeah, wish me luck. A lot of hand sewing later and ta-da! Isn't it cool? Isn't it cool? And wait for it. Now let the production line commence.
More blinding lights, the kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad, I've been bad, got cold that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not.
Okay, so that is all the crackers done. It took a long time, but I hope it's been worth it. So now we are moving on to the reusable, reversible Christmas crowns.
Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Right, so I'm just kind of playing about with format at the moment. I was gonna have like one of these fabrics as the outer and one as the lining, but actually based on the final size I've come up with, I don't actually have the length I need to do one full, well I do, but I would have to sew everything in the middle, and I'm like, if I'm gonna have to sew everything in the middle, I may as well make it multifaceted. So yeah, I'm gonna trial this one as a effectively it'll be like gingerbread and stars on both sides, but in opposite quadrants, if that makes sense. So I've cut out then all 4 pieces of fabric. I have also cut out the interfacing and then popped that between. I've just now got to reorganize. I've pinned this all together to cut it out. I've now got to reorganize it so that I've got right sides together in order to sew. So what I was also thinking, so I've been looking on the YouTube and I've seen some people use a Velcro fastening and some people use a ribbon fastening, and I was sort of debating about which one I liked the idea of better, and to be honest, I didn't really like the idea of either of them. Like, I could see faults with both, and then I had a thought, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, so this is the test run, wish me luck. I'm going to go with elastic. So the plan then is that I'll sew up the top, the crowny bit, and then I'll sew along the bottom, and then I'll also sew a channel for the elastic. Then we'll just kind of test it out, see if that works. If it does, we turn it right side out and then sew up the ends. Sure, it's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, that's the plan right now. So yes, next mission I just have to kind of repin it, as I say, and then we'll see how it goes. So this is actually looking like it's going to work better than I thought. I love it when a plan comes together. So I've put the elastic in, and at the moment it's not super stretchy because it's kind of sized up to be about the size of my head, but you know, you never know what size head people are going to have, but actually it's nice because it just makes it fit nice and snugly, and it's kind of doing that slightly outward slant, which I really like. So what I'm going to do now, because obviously everything else is now sewn up, so I've just kind of pinned the ends down for the minute so I could see or hold the elastic in place and then just kind of see if it was going to work. But yeah, so I basically just need to fold in the raw ends of each side, and I'm going to then hand sew that together. I could machine sew it together, but I'm picky about this being a reversible crown, so I'm going to hand sew it. As much pain as that keeps causing me in the time that it takes, it will be worth it, I feel. So yes, on with the hand sewing again. Scratch that, I actually it was right in front of me the whole time. I'd made one end slightly fatter than the other end, so I've been able to slip one into the other, and I'm going to do, it's not going to be quite invisible stitching, but matchy stitching, which means it'll save me a butt ton of time, so yay. Here it is, here are all the crowns. Get in there. All these little notes are actually just to remind me whose is whose. Because I'm special and I can't remember. So next up we are on to the origami frogs, which in theory should be the most straightforward bit. But watch this space.
My stocking's filled with acid. Am I dreaming? What just happened? This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got cold at.
Woohoo! 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 And so we are done. it's been quite an epic journey. Some learnings were made. I feel quite exhausted, but it's hopefully going to be worth it. So yeah, now I'm just going to like put them all together, wrap them up, and it's time to play Santa. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this year's round of Christmas makes. If you've got any makes that you would like to see me do, or have any other kinds of suggestions related to my sewing project of joy, then please do leave me a comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you again in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!